Hey there everyone, welcome back for another Simon Hurley Create video. This is Cassie. Today we're going to be using this gorgeous background stamp. This is called the Sketched Bouquet background. I love it, and there is a matching stamp set that you could buy separately with it. It's the Sentimental Flowers. I'm going to be focusing on the sentiments for that one, just one of the sentiments, but I love that set. And then of course we have some stark white cardstock by Simon Hurley Create. I'm going to start by taking the insides out of my MISTI. For this technique today, you're definitely going to want to use a MISTI or some sort of stamp positioning tool. I'm not sure how you could do it otherwise, so I definitely suggest that. I have my paper cut down to be about 4¼ inches by 5½ inches, so it would be the full front of an A2 size card. And then I'm just going to take the background stamp and I'm going to put it right into the MISTI, putting it over the top. We are going to be doing some ombre stamping. And as we go along, you're going to see why it is so important to have some sort of a stamp positioning tool. I have started off with some Bee Sting ink. This is a gorgeous bright red that Simon Hurley Create has. And if you're unfamiliar with their inks, I absolutely adore their inks for so many reasons. Simon's inks are just beautifully layered over the top of each other. They stamp great. I mean, I could go on and on. I started out by putting that color down, and then the next step was to take a microfiber cloth and pounce. So we'll talk about it here. I am layering over the top this next color. This next color is Slippery When Wet. And you'll notice I didn't really even clean off my stamp before I put that color down. I didn't have an issue with transfer, but if you're concerned about that, you could clean the stamp off. I just wasn't concerned. And then I stamped that down. What I did was put the ink on the stamp, and then I took that microfiber cloth and I pounced on the edges. I just pounced it on the edges just to make sure that I didn't have a super harsh line. You could do a harsh line if you wanted, but I want this to be sort of ombre, just one color kind of going into the next. So I'll pounce that color off on at both ends of the where the color starts and ends, and then stamp it down. One of the great things about the Simon Hurley Create inks is that when they are layered over the top of each other, they basically create new colors. So as I went with each color, I started off with Bee Sting, then went to Slippery When Wet, then Tropical Tango, and then Midnight Snack. And look, I've got a beautiful array of colors on there where we've got some oranges and some greens and like a teal blue. It's absolutely stunning. So we'll do this again. I actually end up doing this 3 times, but I'll just show you one more time so that we can go over it a little bit slowly. So I've got my cardstock, my stark white cardstock that I put down. I did use a little bit of purple tape to hold that in place. I'll come in with my Bee Sting ink over where I want the red to be, pounce my microfiber cloth over the top of that color just on the edge, and then stamp that down. Then I'll bring in the Slippery When Wet color, kind of overlapping just a little bit. Bring in my microfiber cloth again and pounce away any excess color just on those edges to make it so the lines aren't so harsh. Then I will come in with some Tropical Tango, layering over the top just a little bit. And one more time bringing in that microfiber cloth to pounce away the harsh edges. Stamp that down. And then our final color is the Midnight Snack. Love that dark navy blue. So pretty. And then again, pouncing the color away. Stamp that down, and then we are left with another beautiful background. So I did that 3 times, and there are all 3 of those gorgeous, gorgeous backgrounds. And they are so simple to do. Now I want to bring in that Sentimental Flowers stamp set. I am completely out of birthday cards, so I need to stamp this out about 3 times, obviously, because I have 3 backgrounds. So I started off trying to use this ink. This is an ink on 3 black ink, just a regular black dye ink. I was not happy with how dark that was, so then I went ahead and brought in my Blackout ink. Not sure why I just didn't start with that. Then I'm going to move this up. I am going to stamp it 3 times. They're obviously going to be pretty close to each other, and that's okay because I do plan to fussy cut these out. You could very easily skip the fussy cutting and just cut some straight edge lines with your paper cutter, but I wanted so much of that background to show because I'm really not only in love with that stamp set, but really love how the colors blended. So this is how I am fussy cutting each of those out. Really, really simple. Just leaving a nice white border around the edge of the happy birthday. And I'll do that for all 3 of those. And then when I have all 3 of those cut out, we're going to start getting our card bases ready to go. And our card bases are going to be some more stark white cardstock. But, well, actually, before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and trim a little bit of an edge off of here. I like to add something to the inside. It doesn't even have to be a lot. So all I'm doing is cutting off about 1/4 inch on each one of these pieces. So now this background is 4 1/4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And then here I'll bring in those A2 card bases. Those measure 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches, and I'm scoring them at 4 1/4 inches, so they will all 3 be side folding A2 size cards. And then now we'll actually start doing some assembly. So I will take the strip. I'm just going to add 1 strip to the inside of each one of those. So it isn't a lot, but it is a little something. It just ties the outside to the inside. And then I will glue down the panel to the front of the card base. And I'm going to push that all the way to the left-hand side so that I will have a small white border on the right-hand side. And then I will take my foam tape. I'll put that on the happy birthday. This will be the only part that has any dimension to it. I even decided to skip using any embellishments, although you could, go crazy using embellishments. Some clear sequins would be really fun. Maybe even some Nuvo crystal clear drops. Those would be really pretty. They would maybe bring in some of that color. They would suck up some of that color, but it would be pretty subtle. And then I'll put that down, and I'll do that for all 3 of them. And when I do that for all 3, that's going to finish off our card for today. A very simple birthday card if you're in a pinch. Very easy to do, and an absolutely beautiful background. So if you liked this video, go ahead and hit that like button and consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. Thank you so much for all the love and support you guys give, and I will see you very soon in another video. Bye, everybody.